I didn't even see that setting on my first one.
Hey.
Hello, microphone. Let me try.
Well, maybe the other one didn't have that, you know? Like,
well, I had the, oh, there's like little green dots. Yes. You can't pull it up, right? On your phone. Oh.
Why? Is it saying
I think this is working because there's little green dots. I mean, I had it open.
On or what?
Let me see.
Well, you can't make that noise. Oh, to get sales ended, that's why.
Oh. But I put the link to the actual event.
No, but then I went over to it.
Oh. I think this is going to work, actually.
Okay. I'll be right here.
I think this is going to work out. I'm waiting to see if she is. The girls just said she's trying to log back onto the computer to watch this, so I'll wait for her to get on. This is much shorter.
Yeah.
But I think much more complicated because hopefully it'll be much more dialogue than just rambling. Okay. So this one comes from Shannon Hudson YL.com, I think is her website.
Mm-hmm.
She's amazing. She does a Silver and Six call every week, and
that lady.
Yeah, where like she interviews somebody who actually made it to Silver and Six, and
cool.
People are so different. Like they get on and they're like, "This is what I did," and some people are like, "I didn't do anything." Like for 10 years, people just signed up under me, and then like I was at executive, and then like the next month I was at Silver. Oh, and then there's people who are like, I've been working this for 10 years really hard.
Yeah.
And then other people are like, I got my kid, and like 4 weeks later I was Silver. I listened to the girl who did it in like 48 days or whatever. I was like, well, I'm not sure I can take your
advice.
Like, we are probably going to be a little different. That's not really helpful for me. Okay, yay, we have sound. Okay, are you ready to get started? Okay. So my name is Michelle Easton, and I am part of One Drop of Oil, and we are going to talk tonight about how to get your essential oils for free. So I know that when you joined Young Living, you maybe never envisioned having a team or even understanding what it would mean to get your essential oils for free. And so that's kind of what we're going to cover tonight. This class is also taking place in my home, as you probably hear the baby. And so I'm just going to run this as a discussion in my home, and then you'll be able to see it online as well. So I also have a PowerPoint for those of you who are watching via the broadcast, and so that should help. I'll do some screen sharing as I talk to just kind of give you another way to use your senses to put this information together. So I'm just going to cover a real simple explanation of the compensation plan, and here is a graphic of what the compensation plan looks like, just this part. So you've seen this before, right? Okay. Does that like make sense to you 90% of the time? Still foggy. Okay. So, and if you've never seen this before, I know it's going to kind of look like gibberish. It's online when you log on to Young Living in your member resources, and the chart is actually read from left to right, meaning that first qualification where it says distributor, everybody will start as a distributor, and then they work their way up. So the very first thing under qualification says point volume. It says, well, it actually says PV. And so PV stands for point volume. It can also stand for personal volume. And it's when you go to place an order, the number you often see when you're placing an order. You'll see that word PV a lot. And that means the total monthly volume of your personal order. So, for example, in that first chart for distributor there, it says, let's see if I can make that a little bit bigger. on my screen. So there it says distributor at 100, and what that means is that's how much you need to order in order to obtain a commission check. And that monthly order really should be on Essential Rewards. Now, it does not have to be on Essential Rewards to get paid, but if you're not on Essential Rewards, what you're missing out on is discounted shipping and cash back on your orders. So really, you should be on Essential Rewards. So that first line, if you follow that first line all the way out, you need to spend 100 PV regardless of your rank or level in Young Living in order to get your commission check. So now we're going to look at OGV. And OGV, here's the graphic for Essential Rewards. So you get to, every month you're on Essential Rewards will increase your percentage. So month 1 to 6 is 10%, month 7 to 12 is 15%, and then starting in month 13 it's 20% and stays 20% forever, yeah. And so, so OGV means your organizational group volume. And that's the total monthly volume of your entire organization, their total PV. And it also includes your own PV. So in this example, it says that my order was 150 points or personal value or PV. So I have like a little example I'm showing on the screen. So if I order 150 and then I have like a leg over here and a leg over here and then a leg here, I add all of those numbers up to come up with OGV. So in this example that's on the screen, it's 1,100, and it always includes you. And that's where, you know, you can see the OGV going all the way across the chart. So we're going to talk about how to create a foundation. So everybody begins as a distributor. And the only qualification is you must spend 100 PV, and then you can get paid on 2 levels as a distributor. You can get paid on level 1, which you would earn 8%, and then level 2, which you would earn 5%. So if you had built 4 or 5 people under you, but your group volume was not enough to rank up, you still would only be paid on 2 levels. Okay, so, and we're going to talk about the difference between enroller and sponsor and between bonuses and commissions. But right now, I'll just say if you only are interested in making your bonuses, you do need to only spend 50 PV, and then to be eligible for bonuses and commissions, you'll have to spend 100. So if you have somebody new who's just, maybe they've enrolled 1 person and all they can really afford is 50, that's all they need to spend to just get the Fast Start and the Start Living bonus. They'll miss out on some money on the commissions, but at least they're kind of breaking even at that point, unless they're signing up a couple people right away. So the very first promotion would actually be Star, and you still have to spend 100 PV, and then the requirement is having an organizational group volume of 500, and that would allow you to get paid on 3 different levels. And the average pay at a Star is $73 a month. This is if you're actually enrolling most of your own people. Yeah. And then at that, you're actually coming close to breaking even. So let's say you have to spend 100 to get your paycheck, and the average pay is 73. But when I was at Star, my paycheck was never below 250, because that was my first paycheck, and then they've never gone down since that. And then Senior Star is the 3rd rank, so you still have to spend the 100, and now you have to have an OGV of 2,000. And at that rank, you can actually get paid at 4 levels. And at Senior Star, you are easily getting your oils for free. And at this rank, you could easily see your team coming together, because you probably have 3 or 4 people on that first level, and then under those 3 or 4 people, you'd probably have 3 or 4 people all the way across. So even if you had no Fast Start bonuses in place and no Start Living in place, if you had that structure and you were at Senior Star, your residual commission check would still be 100. So let's say all of those people, like if I had stacked every single person under you and all their bonuses were off, and they were all averaging about 100, your paycheck would be 100. And that's really lowballing it. The average paycheck for somebody in the Senior Star category is $261, and I looked my paychecks up last night, and my paycheck at Senior Star was never below $500. So that's kind of a, I mean, you can easily at that point afford your Ningxia Red and your supplements and your vitamins and all of that. And then executive is kind of the last level we'll talk about tonight, and it's the last level in building a foundation. So you still have to spend 100 points, and now you have to have an organizational group volume of 4,000. But the difference here is you have to have 2 legs at 1,000. So in the example that's on my screen, you would have to have the red leg at 1,000 and the yellow leg at 1,000 OGV in order to reach executive. So you could only have those 2 legs. Like you could have one leg at 2,500 and one at 1,500, and that would still get you your 4,000. You don't have to have anything outside to get to executive, which is why some people choose to build their teams very, very narrow. Except that doesn't set you up well for silver, because you would need some outside production in going to silver. That's why they say 3 to 4 across is kind of good, and then start 3 to 4 under, and then 3 to 4 under each person. But at executive, you can get paid on 5 levels, which is really nice. And yeah, that's when my money really jumped up, because I was getting paid on 5 different levels. And I no longer even knew people directly on my team at that point. So let's talk about, before we get into enroller and sponsor, I kind of want to talk about what's realistic money-wise. So here is Young Living's income statement. Let me pull it up for those of you who are watching with us. So have you seen the 2013 income statement that floated around? I can send it to you. So only 8% of all active members last year for 2013 were ranked at a star. So what that means is most people in Young Living, like 92% of the people, are just a distributor, meaning they love the products and aren't doing anything about it. And which I just think is really telling, because it just shows people love the stuff, the oils and the supplements. So to give you here's a great feel of the averages. So it says star, the average hours worked per week as a star were 5. Out of everybody who's ranked at least a star, 62% of the people were a star. The monthly average was $73, which made your income $876. The jump up to senior star, they're working about 7 hours a week, and they're making about $261 a month, which puts you at a little over $3 grand for the year. And just the jump to executive is an average of about 11 hours a week, because at that point you're kind of still holding a class for yourself, maybe a class for someone on your team, some follow-up emails, and that's just an average. So there are people working less and still people working more. But your average pay would be right around $617, making your annual income $7,500. So yeah, and then silver, that's where it starts becoming income replacing. Is an average pay at silver is $2 grand a month, and your average annual income is at $28,000 a year.
Wow.
So that's a little below like a teacher in Dallas, but I mean that's on the low. I mean, these are all averages, but for me, like those numbers have all been really low. So, I've heard people say your paycheck basically doubles at silver. So I think $2 grand is very, very realistic at silver. Let's see. So you could easily see what your family could kind of do with that kind of money. So let's go back and talk about the difference between enroller and sponsor, because I know that's kind of confusing when you're just joining. So an enroller is the person who enrolls a new member or retail customer into Young Living. That's usually the person who introduced them to Young Living and helps them sign up. And then the enroller earns the fast start and the starter kit bonus. So that's why I was saying earlier, where's my PowerPoint? If you just are trying to earn, if you sign somebody up and then they want their mom to join too, and they, like maybe this is 2 months later, so they don't necessarily need anything, they're not out of anything, they're not looking to spend a ton of money. If they just spend that 50, they'll at least get the 50 back. So they're at that point even getting their oils for free, really.
Yeah.
So the enroller goes in that spot, and then the sponsor would be the person who is the direct upline, and the sponsor earns the commission. So you always, in order to get sponsor and commission money, you have to spend the 100 PV. So what that means is the commission structure that I just went through, from like star to senior star to executive, and as I'm talking about the 8% and the 5% and the 4%, all of that applies to who the sponsor is. So the sponsor is the one who has that team and earns the unit level commissions, and then the enroller enrolls the new person. And generally how it works is the enroller is the one who introduces them to Young Living and walks them through how to sign up, whether that's over the phone or if they're in class, they're literally going through the process of putting the information into the computer. And so they get the fast money because, for me, like when I did my classes at the birth center, I had a babysitter here, and I had paid for some food and snacks, and I've done a hostess gift. So I took the enroller money because that sort of covered my cost for putting on the event, but then I would move people under for the sponsor at that point. So let's talk about the two bonuses just so it's clear. So the Fast Start bonus is you get a one-time $25 when a newly enrolled member chooses the Premium Starter Kit. So that is a flat fee, it's one time, and it's only off the Premium Starter Kit. So if somebody joins and gets the one that just comes with the diffuser, or they get the $40 membership and then order your other essential oils, you're missing out on that $25, which isn't a huge deal breaker, but that's just a one-time thing when they sign up. It is nice. And then the Start Living bonus, the enroller receives 25% of their newly enrolled members' PV for the first 3 months they're signed up, and that's calendar. So if somebody signs up August 29th, it's August, September, October. So it's calendar months, not 90 days. And then you also get 10% of the PV of anyone they enroll for the first 3 months. So in your case, it was Melissa, right? So you'll get 10% on anything she orders for her first 3 months, which is why you'll get 10 off of her Premium Starter Kit, because you get 10% of the 100 PV. And that's for life. So anytime Holly enrolls someone else, you'll get 10% of their order for 3 months.
Cool.
Which is just kind of a nice little benefit. So I'm going to talk about how that plays out. So I changed the names, but this is like my birth center thing. But I didn't want to say all your names. So let's say I enrolled Sally, and then Sally enrolled her mom, Joan. So my paycheck for the month of August would be 25%, and you can totally see this with your two girls. So my paycheck for the month of August would be 25% of Sally's PV order and 10% of Joan's PV order. So as the enroller, I receive the bonus the first 3 months each person's enrolled. So, if Sally joined for a month and Joan joined for a month, and Sally's PV was 200 and Joan's was 150, just off of those two people, I'd make $65. And then if you were to look at that over 3 months, let's say every month Sally ordered 200 because she really wanted the free oils at 190, and Joan just ordered 150. Then off of that Fast Start bonus for 3 months on two people, I've made $195 in 3 months.
Oh, okay.
So the upfront money's nice. It's designed to be helpful. So normally in the beginning, as you're sharing oils with people, your member number would be the same for both the enroller and the sponsor, because typically you're sharing it with your friend and enrolling them and sponsoring them. However, as your team begins to grow, there would be times when a new member will join that will already have shared interest and relationships. And Young Living allows people for you to place a new member anywhere in your downline in order to maximize the compensation plan and support and help others. So for example, on our team where everybody's kind of connected via either the Burst Center or the Bradley class or our Bradley class Facebook group, when I share Young Living with someone who knows people on this leg or has a connection to one of those three things, I remain the enroller but make someone else on that team the sponsor. So I have an example of that up. So in this case, Sally, who's you, is the team leader of this leg. And if I share Young Living with my friend Kim, and I think she'll benefit the most from this team of like-minded ladies, and she even knows maybe a lady on the team, what makes sense is I stay the enroller, but I make Sally her sponsor, which places Kim on Sally's team. So there's a graphic of that. And that's actually called strategic placement. You can watch tons of YouTube videos on that. So people do this to keep family members together, groups, whether it's friends from church, moms from like an elementary school, or friends who all live in the same neighborhood. And you want to keep friends together because it creates community, creates natural relationships where you can support and encourage and learn about all the oils together. And then in this scenario, by moving Kim, I'm actually helping Sally hit her goals as well as helping me work on my own goals. So it's a win-win, and you've totally seen that play out. So the example of the pay then is because Kim selected the premium starter kit when she enrolled, I would make the $25 fast start bonus because I stayed the enroller. I also make another $25 since the premium starter kit has a value of 100 PV, and then 25% of 100 PV is $25. And then if you remember from the chart we went through, on the second level I will make 5%. So because I moved Kim off of my front line and made Sally the sponsor, Sally gets the 8%, and now I get the 5%. However, while someone is on their Start Living bonuses, all commissions are reduced by 70%. So in this example, when Kim is still on her Start Living bonus, I actually only get 5% of the 30 PV, which is why you were only getting 8% of 30 PV because it was reduced. So staying enroller is also important because Young Living runs lots of contests. They've got that one out right now for, to like cruise for Europe. And it's based on who the enroller is. So it says, if you have somebody join Essential Rewards, they are talking about somebody you enrolled. So if I gave up my enroller and put that person under you,
You would still get the...
no, you are now the enroller, so that's your person. So I can help people out by moving people when it makes sense to help them create their foundation, but I often stay the enroller because usually I've done the work. And then, well, long term for the residual for the Start Living, because then I can still collect the 10%. Plus then the contest that Young Living likes to run, I don't presume I'd ever win, but just in case, it makes sense for me to stay the enroller. And it's best to build, again, with 3 to 4 wide, really, at this point, is as many as you need, and then 3 to 4 wide under each of them. So I found somebody made this like little chart, and I thought it was kind of helpful on just some like questions that are asked. I don't even know if this will help clear it up or not. It says, what do I have to do to earn the Start Living kit bonus when my new enrollee purchased the premium starter kit? So in order to get the Start Living bonus, you have to order 50 PV because that's a bonus compensation. So the Fast Start bonus is paid during the new enrollee's first 3 months. Let's see. And then it says what commissions are affected. So anytime that Fast Start bonus is in effect, all commission payouts are reduced by 70%. So if you have somebody, 6 months from now join way down here, and you're like, well, hey, I'm not really getting 4% on that, on my 5th level. Well, if they're new, it's going to be reduced. So you're now making 4% on 30 PV. Let's see what else. I think that's it from these questions. I'm going to cover the Rising Star in our next class because it's just too much information. And then, so the Shannon, what I like about Shannon Hudson, if you go to shannonhudsonyl.com, and I'm not sure where, I want to say she has a link called Handouts. There's a really great, she just broke out the compensation plan similarly, but different than what I was showing you if you're watching online and if you're looking in my class. It looks similar but different. And you can see how she has the PV at 100 all the way across. And she actually, when she's training and doing teaching, she actually just says do 100 off the get-go. Because let's say you place your order like, I don't know, August 3rd, and your team was to just take off, and now there's tons of people, you could easily really miss out on a lot of commission money. And so, unless you really were waiting until the very last day or wanted to place like a second order and pay the additional shipping, to do the 100 makes sense if you can swing it. And really by Star, you're almost getting your oils paid for anyway. But you can see where she has the OGB broken out, and then she's got the compensation. It just looks much easier to read all the way across on the extra levels. So does that help explain the compensation like for you, or is it still cloudy?
That definitely helps make it better.
And then I found this. I actually think it's in our back office, but it's just kind of like the terms and definitions.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it was really helpful because it talks about how when the commission period ends, which I know is confusing because it's like, well, I placed my order like 4 weeks ago. Where's my check? And the commission checks come out the following month, the 20th or so.
Yeah.
Because you can still move people structurally. So let's say you have somebody, let's say you hold a class on August 29th, and then you kind of feel them out for 2 weeks, and you kind of say, oh, I know they should belong in my birth center leg or whatever. Well, I have 30 days to move that person. And so if I end up moving them somewhere down below, whoever, well, now that's going to totally affect my commission. So they need time for all that to settle out. And then, do you know you can get direct deposit too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because that's really awesome, because then your check's in your account way faster than having to wait for it in the mail. And let's see. The only other thing I didn't really cover is if you sign somebody up as a customer, you do get the 24% difference.
Oh.
So when you see, like, Lavender's what? I know it's $23.50.
It's 24% above that.
Yeah. So when you go to like youngliving.com, it'll say Lavender is whatever, $38. Well, if a customer signs up as a customer and places an order, you get that difference in your paycheck. And you can still move those people around. You cannot stack anybody under them. And it does, I believe that it does not count in your OGB.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense.
And you're just paying more for your oils, you're paying more for your shipping, you don't get cash back. But there are some people who just want to do that. Let's see, So I think that concludes what I'm going to share tonight on the recording. And if you have any questions, just feel free to email me or message me. I hope this was really helpful tonight. Thanks.